Welcome to the Geostrategic Podcast.
Today, we're going deep into the August 29th. Israel carried out strikes in Yemen. But these were different, really different, directly targeting Houthi leadership. This isn't just another headline. It feels like a potential strategic shift we need to unpack.
It's definitely a fast-moving situation.
Okay.
And what really jumps out from the sources is the boldness of these operations, the precision claimed. It's not just escalation. It feels like a change in the rule book, hitting targets deep inside what maybe they thought was safer ground.
Right. So let's piece together August 29th.
Yeah.
What did those first reports say? How did this start unfolding?
Well, the initial wave was pretty stark. Channel 12, for instance, put out an IDF assessment, that's the Israel Defense Forces. Their assessment suggested the entire Houthi cabinet, I think Prime Minister, 12 other ministers, likely killed.
The entire cabinet. Wow.
Yeah, but it's really important to stress that was flagged as an assessment right from the start. Not a confirmed kill count, more like an initial battlefield estimate.
Okay. An assessment.
Yeah.
And the sources seem to describe two separate attacks. Is that right? Not just one big event.
That's right. Two distinct operations seem to have happened. The first one, according to reports from Yemen's Al Jamhuriya channel and Aden Al Ghad newspaper, that one apparently killed Ahmed al-Rahawi. He's identified as the Houthi prime minister. Happened in an apartment in Sana'a, the capital. Some others with him were reportedly killed too.
Okay, strike one. The PM in Sana'a. What about the second?
The second strike targeted a different group, about 10 other senior Houthi ministers. They were apparently gathered outside Sana'a, the reason. They were reportedly there to listen to a speech by the group's overall leader, Abdul Malik al-Houthi.
So they were all in one place, outside the city.
Seems so. And the IDF later confirmed they specifically went after the Houthi defense minister and the chief of staff in that attack. They said they were still waiting for confirmation on the results, damage assessment.
That level of specificity is something else. Who were these individuals? Why target them specifically?
Good question. Afin al-Rahawi, the PM, reportedly hit in Sana'a. He's notable because our sources mention he visited Hamas offices back in October 2024. This was to offer condolences after Yahya Sinwar was killed. So that shows a clear connection and alignment there.
Okay.
Then you've got Mohammed Nasser al-Atafi, Houthi defense minister since 2016, described as the top guy in their military structure, and importantly, known for close ties with Iran's Revolutionary Guards and also Hezbollah. That points to those deeper regional networks.
Right, the Iran connection.
Exactly. And there's also Mohammed al-Ghamari, the Houthi chief of staff. He was apparently targeted again here. He'd actually been reported as seriously injured, though not killed, in an Israeli strike back in June, during that brief conflict between Israel and Iran.
So he was already a known target.
It seems that way. It suggests a pattern, doesn't it? Targeting the command structure persistently.
What really stands out, looking at the sources from an intelligence angle, is how they apparently knew about that gathering outside Sana'a in real time.
Yeah.
That allowed the strike, despite, what the reports called heavy air defenses.
Mm-hmm. And
it even mentions Israel was monitoring al-Houthi's speech to see if he even knew his senior guys were just hit. Apparently, he gave no sign. That's a very high level of operational insight.
It really is. Speaks volumes about the intelligence capabilities involved, yeah.
Yeah.
So after these strikes, what were the immediate takes? The assessments coming out?
Well, some reports were definitely leaning optimistic from the Israeli perspective. Channel 13, Ynet. They reported a growing assessment that the entire Houthi military and governmental elite were eliminated. That's a huge claim. Suggests a potentially crippling blow.
It is. A very confident assessment early on. Really highlights the stakes. But it wasn't the only narrative. Pretty quickly, a source from the Houthi Defense Ministry came out denying any members had been targeted.
Denying it completely.
Completely. Insisting Israel was just hitting civilian targets in the Yemeni people because of their stance on Gaza. So right away, you have these totally conflicting stories. Sets the stage for the information battle to come, really.
But beyond the who got hit question, what makes this feel so different? Our sources keep hammering this point. This is a strategic shift.
Exactly. That's the core takeaway here. Before this, Israeli actions against the Houthis were usually about infrastructure, hitting missile launchers, radar sites, weapon storage, degrade capability.
Right. Targeting things, not necessarily people at the very top.
Precisely. These latest strikes are different. They're about decapitation, targeting specific high-value individuals based on, presumably, very precise intelligence. And this was, the 16th time Israel reportedly struck Yemen, which is, remember, 1,800 kilometers away.
Yeah, that distance is just, it's worth pausing on. For you listening, 1,800 kilometers. That's like striking from London deep into Poland or maybe Washington, D.C., hitting targets in Dallas. It's a major projection of power.
It absolutely is. And it requires significant logistical planning and intelligence. What's also interesting is this hint of deliberation. An unnamed senior official apparently told Channel 12 Israel was actually ready to go on Sunday.
Ready on Sunday, but waited until Thursday.
Yeah. They held off. And the source described the eventual Thursday strike in dramatic terms. It suggests a calculated timing, maybe for maximum impact or signaling.
And the official IDF line afterwards. Pretty blunt.
It's very. Lieutenant General A.L. Zamir, the chief of staff, was quoted saying, essentially, the Houthis are an Iranian terror branch. They keep attacking Israel. They threaten stability. And the message is clear. There will be no tolerance.
Zero tolerance. That's a strong framing.
It is, and it fits with what analysts are saying, according to our sources. They see this direct targeting of leadership as really upping the ante. It puts the Houthi command structure itself at much greater risk and could, potentially, just make the whole conflict even more intense. It's a definite step up from just hitting weapons depots.
To really grasp the weight of this, maybe we should quickly touch on the bigger picture. The Houthi motivation, the context. We often hear their slogan.
Right. Death to America, death to Israel, and a curse on the Jews.
That ideology is, well, it's central to understanding their actions.
It provides context, definitely. And their attacks on Israel, on shipping those, started back in November 2023, just a month after the October 7th Hamas attack. They did pause during a brief Israel-Hamas ceasefire in January 2025, but even by then, they'd already launched something like 40 ballistic missiles, dozens of drones, cruise missiles at Israel. This wasn't new. It was already significant.
And it didn't stop. One source mentions the July attack in Tel Aviv killed a civilian, wounded others. That's what apparently prompted Israel's first strike inside Yemen.
Right. And since March 18th of this year, 2025, that's when the IDF reportedly resumed its Gaza offensive, the Houthis have launched another 72 ballistic missiles and at least 23 drones.
72 missiles since March. That's persistent.
It is. It signals a very sustained campaign. Now, in response, Israel and a U.S.-led coalition have been hitting back, bombarding Houthi areas, Sana'a, Hodeidah. Israeli strikes even took Sana'a's airport offline back in May.
There was that deal mentioned in May, right? Brokered by the Trump administration, trying to stop the airstrikes for an end to shipping attack.
Yes, but that's a key point. The Houthis apparently made it clear that deal didn't cover stopping attacks on targets they saw as linked to Israel.
So the deal had limits from their perspective.
Exactly. It shows the difficulty in finding any real off-ramp when their core motivation, as they state it, remains tied to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. They continue to frame their attacks as solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza,
which connects their fight directly to those broader regional tensions. So, given this major strike, this shift in tactics, the history, what do the sources suggest happens now? Escalation. Retaliation.
The signals are pretty clear, unfortunately. The sources indicate the Houthis have absolutely vowed revenge. Retaliation is coming, they say. It points towards a potentially more dangerous phase.
How so?
While both sides are already using new tactics, more advanced weapons, the Houthis keep firing sophisticated missiles and drones at Israel. And Israel, as we've seen, is now hitting leadership, but also potentially expanding strikes to what sources term military and civilian infrastructure, basically raising the cost for the Houthis.
And Israel's preparing for more incoming.
Yes. The IDF is reportedly reinforcing air defenses. They fully anticipate more Houthi missile and drone attacks in retaliation.
So, for you listening, the key takeaway here, according to analysts cited in our sources, is that this isn't just about Yemen and Israel. It could have wider regional fallout. Iran, its proxies. It makes this whole situation even more critical to watch.
Yeah, fundamentally, we're looking at this ongoing cycle. Strikes and counterstrikes. Israel is hardening defenses, hitting high-value targets. The Houthis are vowing revenge, preparing more attacks, linking it all back to Gaza. The basic dynamics haven't gone away. They've just intensified dramatically.
Okay, so let's quickly recap this deep dive then. These Israeli strikes were, without doubt, significant. A direct hit or attempted hit on the Houthi leadership. We saw those immediate conflicting assessments, from optimistic reports of total elimination to flat-out Houthi denials. And crucially, a clear shift in strategy, moving from infrastructure targets to leadership targets. Intensity turned up, tactics changed.
Which leaves us with the big question, really. Given what both sides want, given this major shift in how they're fighting, will hitting the leadership actually weaken the Houthis enough to maybe de-escalate things? Or does it just pour fuel on the fire? Does it guarantee a more intense, maybe even less predictable cycle of violence across the whole region?
Is this an ending or just the start of a much more dangerous chapter?
Exactly. That's something for you to think about as this continues to unfold. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this discussion valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to the Geostrategic Podcast for more in-depth analysis on topics that shape our world. Stay informed, stay ahead, and stay tuned for the next episode.